Produce.
Thank you, Chair. And be assured of all the questions today will be on time. They are. Leave it to the women and we get through it quickly. To ask the Minister for Children and Youth Affairs the status of the implementation of Action 1.4 of the Corporate Plan of TUSLA and if she will make a statement on the matter. And this is to do with children homelessness. Thank you, Minister.
Deputy Minister.
Thank you, Deputy, and I'm sure you'll join me in welcoming our children and young people here this morning. Action 1.4 of the TUSLA Corporate Plan concerns several commitments to address specific issues for children and families experiencing homelessness and or who are in emergency accommodation. The particular initiatives include cooperation in multi-agency responses, the linkage of TUSLA and child and family support networks with family hubs, and thirdly, the provision of facilities in family resource centres. So TUSLA works in partnership with the Dublin Regional Homeless Executive and is a key partner on several interagency groups. Bilateral meetings between the DRHE and TUSLA take place monthly. TUSLA supports a one-stop shop assessment centres being led by the DRHE. TUSLA staff participate as required on issues involving child protection and welfare, educational welfare, and domestic sexual and gender-based violence services, and a key role in coordinating this multi-agency response is played by the TUSLA Homelessness Liaison Officer. While homelessness is not a reason for a referral to child protection services, there may be child protection or welfare concerns for some children. Work is underway to ensure effective identification, referral, tracking, and service response processes for children and families experiencing homelessness. TUSLA also undertakes visits to family hubs and emergency accommodation providers to ensure that they are aware of their requirements under Children First and to clarify referral queries. TUSLA has progressed plans for the linkage of child and family support networks with family hubs and other homeless accommodation, and this work will continue in 2019. TUSLA is also liaising with family resource centres to provide facilities where children can do their homework, receive nutritious food, avail of laundry facilities, receive family support services and other relevant supports. And this model operates in Mulhuddart, Ballyfermot and Ballymun, and TUSLA plans to extend this service in 2019.
You have further time to further develop your points there. Deputy Rabbitte, 1 minute.
Thank you very much, Minister, for your comprehensive response. And I suppose when you're talking about 4,000 children who are in emergency accommodation that fall in under the homelessness category, it is a staggering number of children that we're talking about. And yes, we talk about the multi-agency approach. And what I really am interested in hearing a little bit more about is in relation to TUSLA's liaison officer, the visits to the family hubs and the referral and the tracking system. And how then also do you drill down with Minister Murphy and your cooperation between your department and Minister Murphy's department in getting right in behind the county councils and how we're supporting the county councils and the social work team within the county councils, because I'm sure no different to my own council on a Friday afternoon, some really hard cases come before the staff there where they have to try and make decisions or put a pathway in place. So it's that linkage with Minister Murphy's office, the liaison person within TUSLA, and how many visits will be taking place in hubs. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy. And I do acknowledge, as you say, the number of children who are in emergency accommodation, and I carry an awareness of that with me each day. And I have visited a number of those hubs, not only in my own constituency, but in other places as well. So it's important, your question. That spurs me and provides motivation to have ongoing communication with Minister Murphy. And some of the things that are happening in relation to children in terms of emergency accommodation are because of our conversations and our working together. In line with its business plan of 2018, though, TUSLA has established that position of the Homeless Liaison Officer. It facilitates planning, coordination, integration of services with other bodies and agencies who are working with the families. And since taking up the position in June of 2018, that officer has been involved in a number of initiatives, including meetings with a number of Children and Young People's Service Committee coordinators to get an overview of their current work with homeless children and families. They're also establishing an internal forum of senior child protection and prevention partnership and family support staff that will be led by that homeless liaison officer to ensure that effective identification, referral, tracking and service response that you ask about. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister. Recently, Dr. Jeffrey Shanahan, the Special Rapporteur on Children, has called for stronger action on child homelessness, and he outlined the rights of the child being affected by the problem of homelessness. He talked about children's education is compromised, their ability to play is reduced, and their physical and emotional well-being is damaged. I'm sure you would agree in all of that, Minister. What I'm really curious to know is, when you talk about the TUSLA liaison officer, how many have we nationally that are supporting this good work that the TUSLA corporate plan has in place? I really am interested in hearing that. And what measures are TUSLA taking to ensure that we address the issues regarding children's education is not compromised? Because that's the one thing that comes across all briefings, Minister. The parent wanting to keep the child either in the childcare facility or in education. And I know, before compliments, you provided bus passes to ensure that children could attend their local education. So it's really about Dr. Jeffrey Shanahan there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I was very pleased to present his report, Special Rapporteur report, and report to me, to the Cabinet there just this past week, Dr. Jeffrey Shannon's excellent report. You know, again, you ask about the homeless liaison officer. There is one who is undertaking individual visits to family hubs, emergency accommodation providers, to ensure also that they're aware of the requirements of Children First, and that person's position is that kind of networking, oversight, mapping, and in feeding into the other work that's going on in relation to supporting children who are in emergency accommodation. May I say that that in relation to your question about the educational aspects, they are, TUSLA is involved, the Education Welfare Service is involved specifically in supporting children in emergency accommodation. I've asked them to be specifically attentive to that. They are providing a number of supports to children and family experiencing homelessness. Their school completion program is placing a particular emphasis on children and from homeless families in particular, to helping them to continue full participation in the school. So there is a concerted effort in the context of that Education Welfare Service programs that operate in TUSLA to ensure that they're attentive to the children who are homeless.